Hey, what's up YouTube? My name is Brad, and I want to talk to you today about selling people you know on Ron Paul. Now, politics is always a tricky thing because you don't want to offend anybody. But when telling people about Ron Paul, I promise you're not going to offend a person. I want you to hit on three main points when you discuss Ron Paul: anti-tax, pro-liberty, and anti-war. That's going to set, when you just list those three positions, it's going to get something in their head, regardless of their position, and they'll want to hear more about him. Now, you're dealing with a person who is in favor of Second Amendment rights. Ron Paul is their man. You're dealing with someone, or if you're talking with someone who thinks that free speech is the most important thing, Ron Paul is their man. And if you're speaking with someone who thinks that habeas corpus is something that shouldn't be subject to the whims of the executive branch, Ron Paul is their man. As far as taxes, a lot of people hate taxes. A lot of people feel that they're unfair, and rightfully so. Ron Paul is the person that they need to vote for. Ron Paul has stated clearly he will work to abolish the IRS. Now, this can only be done if you have a candidate who is willing to cut spending, and Ron Paul's record clearly shows that he's willing to cut spending. And this is the big selling point. He's against the Iraq War. He's for immediate withdrawal. Some of the polls out there are saying that 70% of Americans are opposed to the Iraq War. Honestly, I think it's closer to 90%. But remember, Ron Paul will immediately withdraw the troops. No in-between game, no stay the course. You can vote for Ron Paul, you can get a fiscal conservative, and you can get someone against the war. Easy sell. Now remember, you don't have to convince someone of Ron Paul's idea. If they are against taxes, if they are for liberty, if they're against the Iraq War, they're going to like Ron Paul. You don't have to sell. The ideas have already been sold to them. Now, there's going to be some objections that are probably going to come up. And remember, you don't know who's spoken to them about Ron Paul before. You don't know what they've heard on Fox News. You don't know what Bill O'Reilly or Sean Hannity have put in their heads. So, you have to be prepared for strange objections. Someone's going to say, Ron Paul, okay, I like the anti-war, I like the pro-liberty, I like the anti-taxes, but he can't win. Just point out that that he's won the Fox News debates, that he's won about half of the straw polls, and he's placed top 3 in 16 out of 19 of them. Now, there's a more nefarious thing that they might have been placed in their heads, that Ron Paul is crazy. It's like a virus that spreads around about him. But fortunately, we have a vaccine. Ron Paul is running on the same platform that Barry Goldwater ran on, that Ronald Reagan ran on, and that unfortunately George Bush claimed that he was running on, although we know how seriously he took that. You can also be a little funny about it. You can point out that he doesn't cross-dress or giggle into his microphone during debates. So, I want to make a video later detailing these objections, but just remember that when you're trying to sell someone on Ron Paul, it's not really a sales speech. You just say anti-tax, anti-war, pro-liberty. How do you bring it up to people? Just say, I support Ron Paul, here's why. Piece of cake. So, best of luck out there. Work hard spreading Ron Paul's message, and we're going to get him this Republican nomination. Thanks for listening.